A cool application for our topic, which is applicable to medical sciences, is called remote magnetic navigation. It is a powerful technique for controlling devices inside the human body. A magnetic field produced by current-carrying wires can be applied to medical instruments from an external source intended for surgical navigation. It enables the locomotion of tethered and untethered objects without the need for a local power supply. By doing this, short distances are constantly being controlled from a coil-based field generator in order to determine exactly where and how the instrument is going inside the patient's body. Remote magnetic navigation allows for the precise movement of conductive objects inside a patient's body without the need for invasive procedures. Let's quickly see how remote magnetic navigation is applicable to real-life medical scenarios. Let's say in the United Kingdom, two English guys at a pub get into a bar fight, and one guy without a mustache throws a bottle of booze to another guy with a mustache. Unfortunately, a shard from the bottle is now caught in the guy with the mustache's arm, resulting in both ruptured tissue and possible nerve damage. Traditionally, such a protocol would require an invasive procedure where the surgeon would have to open up the arm and stitch up both the ruptured tissue underneath the skin and the ruptured tissue above the skin. However, with the introduction of remote magnetic navigation, the patient's arm can simply be placed in a room with coil-based generators which have the ability to apply a magnetic force on any conductive element in the room. The generator's ability to do this allows metallic elements such as small shards and screws to be controlled differently as the current in the generators is altered. In this case, the doctors would have to implement a small metallic and conductive screw on the outside of the arm and essentially control its path and force of movement by alternating which way the current flows in which coil-based generators around the room. This allows the screw to move around and basically tie up the ruptured tissue without the need of an invasive procedure, and also without the need of a local power supply. Here is another example where remote magnetic navigation can reduce the possibility of an invasive procedure. One guy at karate class accidentally kicks another guy on the shin a little bit too hard, unfortunately causing his bone to break. Traditionally, screws are often used to hold chipped pieces of fractured bone together in order to speed up the healing process. However, an invasive procedure is required to take the screw back out, usually because it is not biodegradable. This leads to additional unnecessary trauma to the area affected and unwanted medical expenses needing to be paid by the patient. By placing the patient's leg in a room with coil-based generators where a magnetic field is produced by current-carrying wires, the screw can be taken out of the patient's leg without the need of an invasive procedure or a local power supply. In this case, the doctors would implement a conductive screw in the shin and essentially control its path and force of movement by alternating which way the current flows in which panels around the room, allowing the screw to either become tighter or looser. In turn, this has the potential to save both time, money, and effort when dealing with medical problems which can be solved using remote magnetic navigation.